first we're going to be talking about sleeping and the really controversial topic of co-sleeping versus crib sleeping. Now, there was an article in parenting.com recently that actually had a look at these two, but instead of just pointing out the facts, they actually looked at why people chose to do this. It is a controversial topic because death can result if you roll over and squish your baby. It has been linked to SIDS in some way in those sort of deaths, so it is controversial, it's sensitive. But I want to find out, Melody, did you co-sleep with your son?
I prefer not to, but I have done it to the extent.
So why have you done it if you prefer not to?
It's so much easier to just actually fall back asleep. Wow, Elliot likes sleeping next to us, and so if he actually comes into bed with us, he actually falls asleep and sleeps really well. And so when you really want that sleep, I have done it where I've just grabbed him, manhandled him while he's like kicking, and it's like, you're going to sleep with me.
Sleep better then?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Well, I think it's opposite for me because Jax won't sleep in the bed with us, and maybe it's just because we haven't had the habit of doing it, so he hasn't gotten used to it. The only time we did was when he was in hospital, and I had to sleep next to him just to keep him calm while we were there. So I think in the days after he got used to it, but then not for long, extensive periods of time.
Well, that's great though, because I know a lot of co-sleeping babies have problems kind of being, I guess, weaned out of it, and that can be a problem for some parents. So yeah, that's good.
It can be. It can almost be scary admitting what you do with your kids and how they sleep because I know people have asked me, and when I first had children, I was against co-sleeping very much. I was like, no, that's too dangerous, not going there. I was that, that first paranoid mum first time, didn't go there. But by the time I had my third child, I was like, come on in, But I do find it incredibly hard to sleep next to someone, and co-sleeping is literally sleeping next to someone. I can't even sleep that close to my husband. I'm like, move over, I need space. Co-sleeping is off for me.
The thing about children is that they're horrible bed hogs.
Actually, I think probably the best kind of balance in this equation is to have one of those, like, what are they called? Like side... Have you seen them, like the side crib?
Yeah, like a side crib, but they're missing a bit, so you're sort of right next to them.
Exactly, because then they're right there, and you can breastfeat or whatever, but you don't have to be in the same bed as them.
It is actually safer. We've actually, it's because of the danger, right? It's always at the back of your head. And Elliot does co-sleep with us sometimes. It's actually gotten to the point where sometimes in the middle of the night, I'll have my husband just going randomly, and he grabs hold to me. And it's because he thinks that he's asleep, but he thinks that Elliot's in bed, and so he thinks, I'm Elliot, and I'm going to roll out of bed. So you can see that it's really in your subconscious that it's really dangerous.
I mean, there's lots of cultures where they co-sleep, just for space, the space that they have in that house, But the issue, I think, for some people is about attachment parenting. It's all about different methods of parenting that people have.
Well, is it parents' needs being met or kids' needs being met?
Actually, I have a pretty real question about that. How does it affect your sex life? And I'm just going to be completely honest there, because if there's a baby in the bed with you, I know like having kids can be a hard enough transition as it is, right? Especially for your relationship. So surely it has negative impacts co-sleeping there. I don't know.
I reckon kids impact your sex life anyway.
Well, yeah, okay.
But yeah, I can't imagine it would do great things for it if someone else is there. Absolutely.
Nah.
Do you think there's enough education around it? Because there are experts who say, yes, it's really beneficial. There's, long-term great benefits for it. They have higher self-esteem. They do better in school later. Do you think we're getting enough education around it and what's actually safe co-sleeping?
I think sometimes we overthink it too much. I don't know. I don't know if I co-slept or if I was in a cot, and it doesn't affect me, And I don't think it really affects you once you're an adult, once you've grown up. Does it really have a huge impact?
Well, I think the best advice that I ever got given, right, is do what you can to survive.
Yeah.
And so if co-sleeping works for you, then
I think another piece of advice I got as well was do what you're prepared to continue doing. Yeah. So I think sometimes, we have to think about what are we prepared to do in the long term. And I think the survival is totally key. I've gotten lots of advice when I've gone to community nurses or from doctors, and I think, well, you're not there with me at 2 o'clock in the morning when I have to take care of my kids.
Yeah,
so.
That's right. And it's a really tiring experience. Look, there are safe ways of doing it. You can look it up on the Red Nose website, on all sorts of websites to do it as safely as you possibly can if that's the road and path that you're going to choose. You can have your say on Facebook. We'd actually like to hear and continue that conversation. So let us know what you do and maybe why you've done it, but we'll keep the conversation really respectful of each other and what each other does.